In the middle of a traffic jam, Emile and his father, Francois, are arguing because Emile didn't want to come, and now they're late. Emile gets fed up with his dad's scolding and storms out of the car. Francois goes after him. Suddenly, they see an ambulance shaking and hear screams from inside before the windows shatter. Francois quickly pulls Emile into hiding as the ambulance doors burst open. A creature, half bird and half man, jumps out and lands on top of a car. Security officers rush in to catch the mutant, who fights back, scaring everyone on the road. The mutant throws the officers off and escapes. Later, Emile and Francois arrive at the hospital to visit the doctor treating Emile's mom, Lana, who is also turning into an animal. For the past 2 years, people across the country have been mutating into animal forms, often becoming violent. Authorities are trying to catch and sedate them, hoping to find a cure. Most people are scared and want the mutants locked up. Emile doesn't want to see his mom, but Francois insists she's still family. The doctor tells them a new advanced reception center has opened in the south, and Lana should be moved there. Francois agrees quickly. He wants to move there, with Emile to start fresh, away from people who knew Lana before. When they enter Lana's room, Emile sees the scratches on the walls and stays back. Francois sits with her and talks, hoping it helps, but Emile doesn't think she can understand them anymore. A few weeks later, Emile, Francois, and their dog move to a new home by the forest. Emile starts school, and during introductions, a girl named Nina asks him a lot of questions. Emile lies, saying his mother is dead, and his scar came from lightning. One night, a big storm hits, causing a power outage. Emile wakes up from the noise and checks the window, where he sees a creature looking in. But when Francois restores the power, the creature vanishes. The next day, they get an emergency call and rush to the lake, where the police and firemen have cordoned off the area. A storm had caused an ambulance to crash into the lake. Francois panics when he sees a cop pulling out a creature's body, fearing the worst. This ambulance was transporting mutants to a new center, and now many are dead or escaped. Francois is desperate, but Officer Julia reassures him they haven't found his wife Lana's body, so she might be in the forest. At home, Francois hangs their clothes on trees, hoping Lana will follow the scent. In class the next day, the gym teacher organizes a tug-of-war game. Emile's team falls, but Emile holds on, pulling by himself until his team can join and win. Everyone is amazed by his strength and invites him to a party. But Emile is distracted, inspecting his fingers. He rushes home, uses tweezers to pull something from under his nails, and finds small claws. He realizes he is starting to mutate too. Checking his back in the mirror, he sees his spine changing. Angry and ashamed, he throws things around the bathroom before getting into the tub. His dog joins him, trying to comfort him. Meanwhile, Francois goes to the mall and bumps into Julia. She tells him the government is sending the military, so they aren't searching for mutants anymore. Suddenly, there are screams because a mutant is spotted. Julia orders the evacuation, but Francois looks for the mutant, hoping it's Lana. It turns out to be a squid mutant looking for fish. When she realizes she's been found, she throws a box of shrimp at them and runs away. She keeps throwing food at Julia, but Julia, being a trained officer, captures her. Francois finds another scared mutant hiding, but decides not to tell the cops. That Friday, Emile goes to a party and has a great time. His classmates admire some swords brought by a guy for a midsummer festival presentation. Suddenly, Emile feels sick from the alcohol and falls off his seat. Nina gives him medicine, and Emile accidentally licks her hand, freaking everyone out. Embarrassed, he runs into the forest, hearing noises from other mutants. The next morning, he wakes up near the lake, spits out blood, and sees anti-mutant graffiti on his way home. At home, he throws up a feather, realizing he ate a bird. Later, Francois and Emile ignore the cops' barriers and search the forest for Lana. Emile asks his dad how he felt when Lana started changing. Francois says he was never scared. She was still his wife, just different. At night, they search in the car, shouting Lana's favorite song through the windows. They spend the night in the car, and in the morning, Emile notices his nails changing again. Suddenly, his dog runs off and Emile follows, finding a chameleon child in a tree. Then the Birdman from before tackles Emile, hitting him with his wings and claws, making him bleed. The Birdman freezes when he realizes Emile is also a mutant. Emile's screams bring Francois running. He grabs Emile and tells the Birdman to stay away. Back in the car, Francois says they're going to the hospital, but Emile refuses, afraid they'll find out he's a mutant. They almost crash into a horse, but Francois stops just in time. They notice they've arrived at the riding school. The cops are there, and Julia says a mutant attacked the horses. Francois asks for a favor, and an army nurse stitches up Emile's shoulder, believing the story that the dog bit him. At home, Emile removes some stitches and starts licking his wound. Later, during lab class, he notices Nina has a necklace with a feather, like the one he puked up, and he freaks out. Nina calls him out, and he gets distracted by the ferrets squeaking in their cage. Eventually, he snaps and yells at them to shut up. After class, Emile struggles to ride his bike because of his body changes. Nina tries to stay supportive and invites him to her house. While making a snack, Emile finds a dead bird in the fridge. Nina explains she found it after the party and took its feather for her necklace. Emile realizes he left it for her as a gift. Nina keeps it to donate as food for the mutants. Emile later goes to the lake and catches a fish with his hands, which a neighbor sees. He then looks for the birdman, who is trying to fly but keeps falling. Emile leaves the fish for him and learns his name is Fix because he can't remember his real name. Seeing Fix's wounds from failed flights, Emile shows him a safer spot to practice at the lake. Emile clears the branches from the water to prevent more injuries, and Fix agrees to practice there. In the evening, Emile tries to ride his bike home but keeps falling, so he leaves it in the forest and tells his dad it was stolen. Meanwhile, at the bar where Francois works, he discovers the owner has made anti-mutant t-shirts, which makes him uncomfortable. While taking out the trash, he hears noises and is grabbed by a mutant. Francois tries to calm it down and sees a second mutant running away. A co-worker reveals the creature is her relative, and she has been hiding it at work. They try to guide the mutant back into hiding, but it freaks out and rushes to the front of the bar, causing panic. Believing the other creature could be Lana, Francois runs to the forest and finds his wife in full bear form. She makes a noise at him before leaving. At school lunch, Emile feels something in his mouth and suddenly spits out a tooth. The others are grossed out, so he pretends it was a baby tooth. In the afternoon, he visits Fix, who keeps falling into the water, trying to learn to fly. When Fix takes a break, Emile looks at his injuries and removes the bandage on Fix's face, discovering a horrible surgery job to remove a growing beak. In the evening, Julia joins Francois in searching the forest for Lana. They hide whenever a police car passes by. They don't find any creatures, but Francois is shocked to find Emile's bicycle. At home, Francois discovers the bathroom sink is clogged. He removes the pipe and finds lots of hair and claws, realizing Emile is also changing. When Emile comes home, Francois shows him the claws and the bike, but Emile denies everything. Francois locks up the house and refuses to let him in until he confesses. Emile tries to run away, but Francois chases him down and hugs him tightly as he has a breakdown. The next morning, Emile eats directly from his plate instead of using a fork, but Francois stays supportive. He shares some of Lana's medicine to help Emile control his impulses while in class. Francois checks Emile's mouth and confirms the fangs are at the back, so others won't see them. He reminds Emile to cut his nails every day and puts cotton in his ears, covering them with hair to prevent noise from overwhelming him. Finally, Francois shows Emile how to use hair removal cream on his body. Later that day, Emile talks to Nina on the phone while walking outside. He asks Nina to scream, and when she does, he's happy to hear her from far away. The next day, Emile visits Fix and finds he can't talk anymore, only making bird sounds. After Emile hugs him, Fix climbs a tree and jumps, finally able to fly and enjoying it. Emile then goes to the festival where his father is working. Francois is furious to see him, arguing that Emile should be hiding. Their argument turns physical, and Emile bites his dad's shoulder, not letting go until Francois threatens him with scissors. Upset, Emile walks away and meets Nina, who invites him to walk through the cornfields. They end up kissing, and things heat up, so they lie down. Nina sees Emile's hair and changed spine, but accepts it. They return to the festival, and Emile goes to the bathroom. A classmate who saw him with Nina corners him and uses a device that hurts Emile's ears. Scared, Emile attacks the boy, leaving scratches on his face. Emile runs to hide in the field, but the boy alerts the locals, who grab weapons and call the police. A dog finds Emile, but he scares it away with a bark. The dog runs, causing two men to open fire, triggering the alarm. Emile runs as people chase him. When a guy is about to shoot, Fix flies in, pushes the guy away, and kills him with his claws. Fix then flies into the forest and Emile follows. A police car chases them and Emile crosses the lake. The frustrated men open fire from across the water, hitting Fix. Emile rushes to his friend's side and cries as Fix dies in his arms. Minutes later, Francois and the hunters find Fix's body, but no sign of Emile. Meanwhile, in town, a large mutant sneaks around while army trucks head to the forest. The next day, Emile hides in the forest, eating any fruit he can find. In the evening, he climbs a tree and joins the chorus of nocturnal creatures with his howling. The following night, a storm hits, so Emile hides in a cave. He gets scared when a bear approaches, but then realizes it's his mother, Lana. They bump foreheads to show their love, and Lana leads him to a place where many mutants live together in harmony, including the chameleon girl. Suddenly, flares light up the sky, signaling the army has found them. Emile and the other mutants try to run and hide, but the soldiers use a painful sound that makes the creatures drop to the ground in pain and get captured. The only one who escapes is the chameleon girl, using her camouflage to hide. Later at the police station, Francois helps Emile by claiming he was drunk and ended up in the forest by mistake. But when Emile tries to sign the release papers, he can't grab the pen and breaks the sheet. When the cop gives him a new one, Emile growls, making Francois push the cop down before he can raise the alarm. The officer passes out, and Francois quickly signs the document himself. He shows it to the receptionist and successfully leaves with Emile. Afterward, they get in the car to leave town. The police start chasing them, but Francois promises Emile he won't go to any institution. He drives as fast as possible, crashing through a fence to reach the forest. Francois then tells Emile to run, and Emile does so, howling in happiness.